Good morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Doing great.
It's good to see so many people here. We're really excited about today. We're really excited for what we're going to announce today, and I'm really happy to see so many people here. I wanted to share, before we recognize several of the special guests that we have, I wanted to share that a couple of officials send their regrets. The Honorable Jean-Claude Brunet, the Consul General of France in New Orleans, unfortunately he had a conflict and he was unable to be here, as well as Lieutenant Governor Jay Darden, and so we appreciate their support. I also want to recognize our elected officials who are here with us today. State Representative Barbara Norton. Our City Councilman and Centenary alumnus, Jeff Everson. And of course, the Mayor of Shreveport, Cedric B. Glover, who will come and welcome us here in just one moment. I also want to welcome and recognize other special guests, members of the Centenary Board of Trustees, members of our Alumni Council, as well as other Centenary alumni. If you want to stand and be recognized as well. And finally, members of the media community, Centenary faculty, staff, and students, and all of our staff who are here. Thank you all so much for being here. We're here today to officially announce an exciting initiative called Centenary in Paris. Students entering next fall 2014, will begin their college experience with immersive study in Paris, France. We join a very small number of institutions nationwide who are sending our first year students on shared international study experiences. And to welcome us again today, I want to bring up Mayor Cedric Glover.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am very excited to be here, and I bring you greetings from a young lady that just left over at the Government Plaza, our city's third in command, Assistant Chief Administrative Officer, and Centenary graduate, Sharika Fields. In fact, I was quite tempted to send her here today. But she's busy wrapping up the budget that we'll be delivering to Centenary graduate Jeff Everson. His colleagues in just a minute here. Delighted to be here with you all, and very excited about what's going to be happening here next August. As we talk about the expanded learning opportunity this represents Centenary is offering its students, this initiative falls in line with a number of proven studies that show an intensive shared learning experience provides considerable benefit to first-year students. The bond created by an experience like this will give these students and faculty a chance to develop positive relationships that will undoubtedly be a key factor in their overall academic success. As a native of Shreveport, I have a deep appreciation for the French influence that permeates our state. This international study experience will help students gain similar insight into how France is integrated into our history. Additionally, I'm sure they'll gain equally valuable insight about themselves as they interact with people of a different culture in a different country. As mayor, I am especially proud of our institution of higher learning, and I'm certainly encouraged by this initiative, and this innovative step, excuse me, that Centenary is taking to develop our future leaders for this school, for our city, for our state, and for our country. Our world is changing quickly, and it is essential that those of us who embrace the opportunity to lead must also embrace the opportunity to promote change and progress, innovation, and creativity, as we all look to prepare our students for global success. This immersive program will do just that, and I am all too happy to applaud the visionary leadership here at Centenary. Join me in a round of applause for Dr. Earl. I made a note at the end to say something in French. The only thing I'm absolutely sure of is oui, and Centenary has a certain je ne sais quoi.
Thank you, Mayor. We're really happy that you could be here, and thank you so much for your leadership in Shreveport. Next, we want to show you introductory video to share a little bit more about what Centenary in Paris is all about.
Centenary in Paris is a new program that we've got rolling out for the students arriving in 2014, where every student coming into Centenary, every new student will be able to have an opportunity to take one of 10 or 12 classes with our professors and have an incredible educational opportunity that's tied in with the subject matter that the professor is already teaching them.
Centenary in Paris is an opportunity for students to come to this institution and go out and discover the world. When they apply, they're going to be applying at the same time for their passport. So Centenary becomes their passport to the world.
Well, Centenary has been providing students with an opportunity to go abroad for decades. Having an intercultural background is just more important than it's ever been before for success in the workplace. And having that intercultural experience is just really critical. The first 6 weeks of college is really the most formative time. That's when people are they're making choices, they're bonding with students, they're bonding with professors, and so by getting this experience up front, it's really going to kickstart their educational experience in a way that I think is going to be really unique.
So it's a really good opportunity for students to go to France and find out and to discover things about themselves and that Centenary offers for them to really go out and connect with the world.
So we've been doing this for a long time, but I think now we want to take it to the next level and do something that's really exciting that gives all of our students an opportunity to have this really formative experience from the moment they set foot on campus.
Venez nombreux et nombreuses, venez avec nous en France avec Centenary à Paris.
Next, I'm very proud to introduce the 30th President of Centenary College of Louisiana, Dr. B. David Rowe.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Matt. I also want to extend my appreciation to the group of faculty and staff who have been collaborating over the last several weeks to lead us to this particular moment in time. I particularly want to lift up with appreciation Dean Mark Miller, our Dean of Students, and our Vice Provost, Dr. Karen Soul. Would you all join me in thanking them? You will hear shortly from the other architects of this, our most recent program. Centenary College encircles the world with wise, caring, moral leaders, developed to engage the global challenges of the 21st century. Centenary College has been engaging the challenges of its time, preparing leaders for a rapidly changing, complex world since its founding in 1825. 3 decades ago, the visionary Centenary faculty and administration determined how crucial it was for our students and our graduates to lead with a global perspective, to understand cultures that were foreign to one's own, and instituted a culture credit and culture requirement. And since then, every student who's graduated from Centenary has learned something about others in this world. 2 decades ago, Centenary College began immersion course programming so that students could learn in an intensive format, a subject matter with which they were able to live night and day, experience, read about, and write about. More than a decade ago, our faculty seated before you combined these 2 concepts with the original Centenary in Paris idea, with a module that takes our students to Paris so that they can have this sort of intensive, immersive learning experience in a foreign country. So while we are here today to launch a new initiative, the educational imperatives that we manifest today are not new at all, that are in fact long-standing and ingrained in this institution, who traces its founding back to the College of Louisiana, just a decade and a half after the Louisiana Purchase. Our connections to Paris and to France are long-standing, as exhibited by our relationships with Lille, the University of Rennes, and our French language press. Centenary in Paris is a bold new opportunity for our students to experience the world, to experience Centenary, to experience each other, and to experience our faculty, and to do that together in one immersive, intensive experience as they encircle the world, or at least part of it, from Shreveport to Paris next August. We have a number of folks whose creativity and energy have made it possible for us to be here today. And it's my pleasure to introduce a diplomat of the Republic of France and our professor of French, Dr. Dana Kress.
Thank you so much for that, but I'm only an honorary. Maybe less honorary. I would like to underline how Centenary in Paris is a meaningful way to introduce our new students to Centenary and to its rich history in Louisiana and its long-standing ties to France. That goes all the way back to LaSalle. And we can talk about the state, we can talk about the south of the state, but let's not forget in our own community, Justin Gras, who left his fortune to create the community foundation that has supported every institution here in Shreveport. Let's not forget C.C. Antoine. There's no name more French than Antoine. How about Homer Plessy in the south of the state, the first person of color to sit on a train car long before Rosa Parks, and he had French heritage. And even more locally, Pierre Bossier, when we all travel across the bridge and garble his name. All that said, think about this heritage that we do have, and it's a heritage that's shared by more than a third of the state. Many of the people here in this room have a French grandmother, grandfather, Cajun grandmother, grandfather. I see smiles out there as you are thinking about Nana and Mima, and so you know. But that's not all. I want you to consider the fact that Centenary in Paris represents us reaching out to a kind of heritage that many of us have forgotten or were never taught in our schools. For instance, the first black newspaper in the United States was written in French, and it was written in Louisiana. That was the first black daily newspaper in the United States. There are so many things like this that are there. The first short story by a person of color was not written in English, it was written in French. And so there are thousands and thousands of points for us to reach out to. And just like we are going to France, it's going to be the American invasion of Paris. But for centuries, the French have been invading Shreveport and Louisiana, bringing jobs to our communities. So it will be a good idea for us to send young people to France to discover part of their heritage. Now, I would like to introduce the next person, Bruce Allen. He's the professor of art and the chair of the Department of Art and Visual Culture. Thank you so much.
here to say a few words about the May module that we've been doing in Paris for the last 12 years. Jeff Hendricks and I have taught a course in Paris since 2002, and before that I taught courses in Chicago, and Jeff taught courses in New York, and our students have always, they still come back to me and say, what an experience, what a life-changing experience that was, going to Paris, going to Chicago, going to New York, going to someplace else, and finding out about our connection with another part of the world. I'll tell you a little bit about the Paris and Connect, the Shreveport, Centenary in Paris, and what we're going to do there. Basically, we're going to have a class that meets at Centenary for a few days, and then we'll take our students. There'll be 10 or 12 professors, depending on how many we need to take care of the whole freshman class. And we'll spend 8 to 10 days in Paris. And during that time, each of the professors will work with their expertise and try to draw some element of Paris into the spotlight for their students. It's, someone said once, a movable feast. Each of us will take our expertise and try to impose our ideas on the city and show our students about that. Our experience as a May module in Paris, Jeff and mine, has, as I said, been 12 years long. I've been there a total of 24 weeks or more. I still haven't seen everything that's there to be seen. I mean, every time we have to find something. We do find new things to see. It's a city of opportunity for educational experience that is, I think, unique in the world. There's just a lot to do there. Let me see. I think that's about what I have to say. What I'd like to introduce now is Jeff Hendricks, who's been my sort of partner in a lot of different areas at Centenary. We actually went to school together. We both graduated from Centenary in 1975. We both had intercultural experiences right after we graduated that changed our lives, and experiences that we had at Centenary that changed our lives. It brought us back here and make us want to take our students out and affect them in the same way it affected us. So Jeff teaches English here. He teaches visual culture and film. He is a great guy. We help with the Film Center, which brings in foreign films all the time too. So I'd like to bring forth Jeff Hendricks.
Thanks, Bruce. Bruce and I are partners in crime in the May module to Paris, and it's been a great experience, and certainly we want to replicate it this coming August with the immersion course Centenary in Paris. Like Bruce, I wanted to emphasize what my own experience has been with international study and how it affected me. I grew up in North Louisiana in a small town about 100 miles east of here. My father worked in a paper mill, very middle class, kind of Mayberry-esque, Opie and Andy kind of experience. But in the 7th grade, I had a French teacher who really, for whatever reason, opened me up to the world. And it was taking French with him in the 7th and 8th grade, and I'm going to mention his name, Mr. Dalrymple, because he sort of changed my world. But so did Miss Wanda Gates in high school, where I took French. And then here at Centenary as an undergraduate, Theodore Toulon-Beck, Dr. Beck was my French professor. And what they gave me was an entree to a world beyond North Louisiana, beyond my family and my home. Not that any of those made any, or was any less important to me, but I had a much larger view, a much larger sort of world to live in. And like Bruce emphasized, we really want to pass this on. The kind of experiences that we've had as students and now as faculty, we are here at Centenary College because we are committed to sharing that, to offering that up to our students. It is what you can do at a small residential liberal arts college. It is the perspective that we offer the world is what we offer our students. As I've said in another place, we're a small college, but it's a big world, and as Dana said, we are your passport to that world. That's what I truly believe, and I want to thank the staff and the administration here for believing in this immersive experience in Paris. I'm extremely excited about it. I'm perhaps one of the luckiest people in the world. I get to live my passion. This is one of the things I love to do, and I'm very envious of the students who are going for the first time. It's not boring to me now, but it's not like the first time. And I'm hoping that for many of our first-year students next fall, they will have that sort of opening of a brand new world. And the key thing is, it's only the beginning. This class is kind of like graduation in that it is a commencement. It is the beginning of your 4 years at Centenary, where you're going to go beyond just an exposure to Paris and to France. You're going to see the whole world. And you're going to be forced to think hard about it. And then afterwards, you will go live in that global economy. You'll live in a world where you have to make very difficult decisions, but you're going to have a range of experiences, and you're going to have professors who will help you think about those kinds of experiences so you can make the kind of hard decisions, the difficult decisions that get made best with as broad a view as possible. So thank you very much. Thanks for coming out, and go Centenary and go to Paris.
And there was someone else who couldn't be here today that I failed to mention at the beginning, who shared a supportive statement with us. He's actually with the French consul in New Orleans on a visit from some French senators today. But Dr. William Arsenault, Bill Arsenault, who's the president of CODEFIL, the Council for the Development of French in Louisiana, was very excited about Centenary in Paris, and he wanted us to share a statement from him. In my experience, Centenary must be the first in the nation to do this. This unprecedented decision to send the freshman class to Paris will place the college in the international spotlight and result in bringing much needed attention to Louisiana and its efforts to promote French language heritage. This initiative can only be described in one way: formidable. So we appreciate his support, and we also have the support of our federal delegation in Washington, D.C. They wanted to send representatives, they wanted to issue statements of support, but unfortunately they don't have a staff right now. They don't have anybody to help them except for 1 or 2 people, I think. So hopefully, we'll hear from them whenever things get back up and running. And one other special guest that I want to just recognize that's here today, and I'm sorry that I don't have his name, but a prospective student is here with us today. So we're very happy that he's here. Let's also recognize one more time our wonderful Centenary in Paris faculty leaders. And again, we're very excited to be joining a very small group of colleges and universities across America to do this sort of thing, to send freshman students for international experiences. We believe that's very important. I want to thank everyone for being here today and sharing with us in this excitement, and I want to encourage you to have some French roast coffee and some French cookies as well, and join us for a reception. Thank you so much.